Hello, students, and welcome back to our grades 5 through 7 writing class for Abundant Education. I am Teacher Chris, and today we have an action-packed lesson. We are going to read an inspiring story about a trailblazing woman in sports, review how to use personal pronouns correctly, and finally, learn my absolute favorite strategy for paraphrasing called Read, Hide, Write. Make sure you have your worksheet and a pencil ready, and let's get started.
Let's begin on page 2. Follow along as I read our passage today, titled Out of Her League. Notice how many of our recent vocabulary words are packed into this story. Pam Postema grew up in Willard, Ohio, hooked on sports and with an unusual ambition. She aspired to be a Major League Baseball umpire. At the time, this seemed like an impossible dream. No one took her seriously. Postema persisted, however, and in 1977 enrolled in the country's top umpiring school. At that time, she was 22 and well aware of the strong bias against women in professional baseball. Although the school she chose to attend had previously accepted several women, none had completed the course. In its entire history, the school had graduated 7,000 men, but not one woman. The umpiring school's chief instructor treated Postema fairly, and he was also very candid with her. He told her that her chances of getting a top job in the future were slim. In order to make it into the major leagues, she would have to be twice as good as any man. Postema was determined to succeed, and she did well at the school, graduating 17th out of a class of over 100 students. She began at once to look for a job as a professional baseball umpire. Within a few months, Postema made her professional debut with the Gulf Coast Single A League. During the next few years, she advanced steadily. In 1983, she began calling plays in the AAA Pacific League, one step below the majors. It was not easy, though. If a male umpire made a bad call, it was brushed aside. If Postema did the same thing, she was accused of becoming flustered. Some baseball fans seized on any errors she made as proof that umpiring was not an appropriate occupation for a woman.
Postema believed that a manager would often view a confrontation with her as a test of his manhood. If he failed to intimidate her, he felt somehow disgraced. She wanted to show that no one should expect to attack her authority with impunity, so she ejected managers and players from the game at twice the rate of other umpires. She even had 3 spectators thrown out of the ballpark for making obnoxious remarks about female umpires. Postema admits she sometimes enjoyed arguing, whether with managers, players, or even other umpires. In fact, she says that many umpires are addicted to arguing. In 1988, Postema got a job umpiring the National League spring training games, where she had to deal with major league players and managers. When the starting pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates told a reporter that God never intended women to be Major League Baseball umpires, Postema retorted that she doubted that God was interested in baseball. Not everyone was as blatant as the Pirates pitcher, but the hostility directed against her, far from diminishing, seemed to intensify as her career advanced. Pam Postema's career as a professional baseball umpire was marked by talent and spirit. Her stint in the minors had lasted 7 years when she was dropped from the official list of umpires. There was nothing unusual about this. After about 5 years in the minors, most umpires are let go to give others a chance. Very few make it into the majors. Did Pam Postema fail? Let's ask Ria Cortesio. In 2007, 18 years after Pam retired from the game, Ria became the second woman to umpire a spring training game. She was the first to give credit to Pam Postema for leading the way. Now turn to page 3 to answer the reading comprehension questions. You must answer each of the 15 questions with a complete sentence. But here is the challenge. If the question does not contain one of the vocabulary words from our word bank, you must use one in your answer. You will use each of the 15 words in the bank exactly once. For example, question 1 asks, when did Pam Postema make her first professional public appearance in a major league game? Instead of saying public appearance, you could say she made her professional debut, using the word from the bank. Pause the video here, complete page 3, and unpause when you are ready for grammar. Welcome back. Let's look at page 4, lesson 22 on personal pronouns. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun, so we don't have to repeat the same word over and over. A subject pronoun is the person or thing doing the action in the sentence. Words like I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. An object pronoun receives the action or comes after a preposition. Words like me, you, him, her, it, us, and them. For exercise 1, read the sentence and write the correct personal pronoun in the blank to replace the word in parentheses. For example, number 1 says, Walt Disney may be best known for creating Mickey Mouse. You would write he in the blank. For exercise 2, write the pronoun that replaces the italicized word, and then write subj if it is a subject, or obj if it is an object. Pause the video and complete your grammar practice. Great job! Now turn to page 5 for our main writing lesson. When we summarize an article, we have to paraphrase, which means putting the information into our own words. Why do we avoid copying? Because copying is plagiarism. It shows a lack of understanding, and it creates robotic summaries. Let's do a warm-up challenge. The famous movie quote is, "May the force be with you." How can you say the exact same idea without using the words may, force, or with? You might say, "I hope the universe's energy stays by your side." That is paraphrasing. Here is the best strategy to do this. Read, hide, write. Step 1. Read the key detail sentence. Step 2. Hide the text. Cover it with your hand or flip the paper over. No peeking. Step 3. Write what you remember. By hiding the text, you force your brain to use its own words. A great pro tip is to swap out words for synonyms, or flip the sentence backward by putting the end at the beginning. Let's try it on page 6. For part 1, Fix the Copycat, you have 3 practice sentences. Read the original text, cover it with your hand, and use the hints provided to write a much better paraphrased sentence on the line. Finally, we have part 2, the Chocolate Challenge. This combines our summarizing techniques into one fun project. Remember how we build a strong paragraph? Whether we call it the umbrella and spokes or the paragraph table with its sturdy legs, the structure is the same. Your main idea is supported by key details. Read the passage about the history of chocolate. First, use your highlighter to find the umbrella main idea and the 3 key detail spokes. Make sure you cross out fun facts. For example, Montezuma drinking 50 cups a day, or Americans eating 12 pounds a year. Those are fun facts. Cross them out. Once you write your facts in the filter box, go to step 2. Build your final summary paragraph by using read, hide, write for every single spoke. Do not just copy the sentences. Pause the video now and complete your chocolate challenge. Fantastic work today, writers! You tackled a difficult reading passage, mastered subject and object pronouns, and learned how to successfully paraphrase using read, hide, write. Take a moment to check your grammar and vocabulary answers against the teacher answer key on page 7. Keep up the incredible writing, and I will see you in our next lesson.